Hello, my dear boys and girls. Tonight I have come back to my grammar lesson because you know that without having grammar knowledge, you can't write you can't write your sentences independently and correctly. However, my today's arrangement is past perfect tense because I have already discussed with you past continuous tense, its interrogative and negative form. And tonight's arrangement is past perfect tense. Then what is past perfect tense? Let us read the sentences written on the board first, and then we will come to concluding part or conclusion what past perfect tense is. And you know that tense is always of the verb, so there is no problem to understand. So you see, past perfect tense, and I have written read the following sentences. The first sentence is the train had departed before I reached the station. My dear students, you see that there are two incidents that happened or took place in the past, and one of them happened a little ago and the other a little later. Okay? The action which takes place a little before, the verb takes past perfect tense, and the incident that takes place a little later, the verb takes past indefinite tense. So one is past perfect tense and the other is past indefinite tense. And you say that there are two actions. The train had departed, I reached the station. There are two verbs. The train had departed, this is the first action, or this is the first incident, and the second incident reached the station. So subject plus had plus past participle of the verb, then before I reached the station. It is the example of past indefinite tense. So, it is an example of past perfect tense. There are two actions that occurred in the past, and the first one, the verb of the first one, has taken past perfect tense, that is subject plus had plus past participle of the verb, then before, and the next verb has taken the form of past indefinite tense, simple past tense. Clear? Then come to the second sentence. Torrential rain turned into drizzling after the children had taken shelter in a haunted house. So the two incidents had occurred in the past. One is torrential rain turned into drizzling, after, here not before but after, The children had taken shelter in a haunted house. Had taken shelter is the verb that has taken place first, and torrential rain turned into drizzling is the second incident or the second action. Clear? So, the first one has taken the form of past indefinite tense, and the second one has taken the form of past perfect tense, because it took place, it occurred, or it happened before rain turned into drizzling. Clear? Here you see that subject plus had plus past participle of the verb, and it is the simple past tense. Clear? Now come to the third sentence. The farmers had brought their paddy to farmyard before it started drizzling. So there are two actions. One is the farmers had brought their paddy to farmyard before it started drizzling. So had brought is the example of past perfect tense. You see subject plus had plus past participle of the verb, bring, brought, and it started raining. It is the simple past form. So you'll have to see whether the verb has taken its place, the verb occurred a little before or a little after. This is the question. There is nothing difficult in it. There is no problem in it. There is no trouble in it. Now come to the fourth sentence. The red rose bloomed. The red rose bloomed after the sun had risen. Which has taken place earlier? The sun had risen. So sun is the subject, had auxiliary verb, and the principal verb is rising. Subject plus had plus rising. And this is the second action. The red rose bloomed. Okay? It is the simple past tense. Clear? Now come to the fifth sentence. The birds had returned to their nests before the sun set. Here are also two actions that occurred in the past. The first action is the birds had returned to their nests. So birds subject plus had auxiliary verb plus returned is the principal verb. It is the past participle form. To their nests before the sun set. Set. So it is the simple past tense. Clear? So what is past perfect tense? If you see that there are two actions that occurred in the past, the first one or the verb of the first one would take the form of past perfect tense, and the second one that occurred a little later would take the simple past tense. This is the past perfect tense. Clear? So that's the end of my lecture today about past perfect tense, and I think that all of you have understood the matter and practice at home, and later I will discuss again when I shall discuss adverbial clause, because all these are the examples of adverb clause of time. So this is not the proper time to discuss with you adverb clause of time, because I am discussing with you past perfect tense. Okay, good night. And last but not least, please subscribe my channel, like it, and make comments. Thanking all of you. Good night.